And welcome back to the channel, and we're back, and today we're playing a little something different. We're playing Grav. Now, I've not seen any videos really on helping people on this game, so I've decided to put it to myself that I've put enough hours into this game to know what I'm doing, and maybe help people out on the way. Now, you have to understand this game is not very optimised. It's really not optimised at all. You know, I've got this this is not even literally that high graphical settings, and I'm pushing 30 frames a second if I'm lucky. Now the game is not optimised on my computer, not optimised on anyone's computer. I'm running a GTX 960 with 4GB of RAM, EVGA, super clocked graphics card, and I'm still not pushing it. So it's not the most optimised game in the world, but if you play the game, then you will know that there's a lot of farming involved, and it's something I don't really do, but I'm going to give you tips and maybe a few videos on this and see what happens. Now, to start off, I'll have to explain to you that the stuff I've got now took a while to get. You know, I have a really obscure type of armor set now. I've got a plasma boots and legs, I've got wooden gloves and a wooden helmet, and I've got a fossil chest. Now, this is stuff that you get later on, so I will tell you a little bit more about it in a minute, but first I'm going to explain the basis of the game. I would say it's an MMO type game. It's open world, there's not much quest, it's more about exploring and surviving and trying to build and create new things. And yeah, that's about it, that's all you need to really know. The first video will be kind of long, just explaining what you're going to do and stuff like that, but like I said, now first thing I need to do is collect a bit of supplies. Now, farming in this game is pretty annoying, but you have to do it, you know. So now you can see my tool is called, the tool I've got is called a multi-tool. Now, there's 4 versions of it that now I've got. There is more than that, there's like 10 versions of it, but I've got the 4th version, which is you'll unlock later on, but you start with the first version, you'll gradually get different blueprints that you'll unlock the 2nd, the 3rd and the 4th. I'll show you blueprints soon, but with the first version you get 1 wood off of each time you hit it, like this. As you can see, I'm getting 4, but I would get 1 if I was using the Mark 1. So trees will give it 4, so it's easier to farm with a better tool, but you won't get this until you're at least rank 16 or rank 15, fighting rank 15 dungeons. Now, I'm going to do a bit of farming, so on wood for a bit, and I'll show you once I've got enough wood what you do after that. Make sure you get about enough wood to supply yourself. So I'll be back in a second and we'll see where I'm at. Now, once you've connected enough wood, so I'm on about 600, collect a bit more. You'll be wondering what the other little robot is there. This is a harvest pet. You can get them off of sales guys around the place for Element X. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, maybe on a different episode. But, so, we're going to get 800 wood. Now, after that, we need to get some fossils. Now, you'll see fossils laying about on the desert. Now, before I go into fossils, let me explain that wood is probably the easiest thing to farm. Wood is everywhere. On most planets, it's everywhere. The only planet you don't really find wood on is a sand planet, a desert planet. Very hard to find it on that, but any other planets, it's pretty much good to go. Now, next thing we need to farm is fossils. Now, fossils are pretty large, usually about this size. You usually get about maybe 40 off each fossil, give or take, if you've got a harvest pet or not. So we got almost 50 or 60 off that one fossil. So fossils are very handy, and they're not very hard to come by. They're usually out in the plains, and you can see them quite from a distance. Let's look around. Can we see a fossil? Now, you can see I've got a glider. You won't spawn this, you'll need to build it. You'll get it under a blueprint about rank 10. You know, I was going to start a new world, but I didn't know how to delete this one. I could have looked it up, but I'm a lazy bastard. So, we're going to go down here, and we're going to farm some fossils. I might cut this a little bit out, we'll see how it goes. I don't like showing you too much of farming, but you know, you can see they're everywhere you go. You'll see them everywhere. They're not hard to find. They're huge. So we'll be back in a second with the fossils we have collected. Now I'm collecting my last fossil. We are going to, after this, you know, find some more. That's our next step. Now, fossils and trees don't really need any tips. Fossils and trees are everywhere. Like I said, trees aren't on the desert planet, but they're everywhere else. You'll see them, you can collect them, they're not a hard resource to find. Now, when it comes to the next two resources, they're a little bit more challenging, and there's some tips for low level tiers, and I'll have to show you later on when I've maybe leveled up my character a bit more, the higher levels, how to get more of this equipment. So let's find what we're looking for. Now it's very rare outside. Now it's more common in dungeons, so we'll see if we can find one. Now, there's none out here. I can't see any, but you will see them. They're scattered around. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to get my jetpack on. Now, this is another thing you'll need to find is a blueprint. Now, I'll explain to you blueprints a little bit further on. Oh, that might be my base down there. I built a base and I died and I got lost, but I think I might have found it. Now, hopefully this is the base of operations. I would love it to be, but I don't think it is. Is it? No, it's not. It would have shown up by now. Ah, bummer. What level is this cave? 5 to 6. Right, so as you can see, we've got a dungeon here. And make sure there's no ore outside. Now, dungeons are varied levels. So I'm a level 17, so this dungeon is very, very easy for me. Most monsters in here will be a 1 or a 2 hit kill. Now, as you can see, we come in, infected slimes. Now, I've got a sword. It's a level 4 sword, but you won't spawn this. You will spawn with a level 1 combat knife, which is that. I will equip it. This is the first weapon you spawn with. Eventually you will build a rotten club, which is this. Then you will build a wooden sword, which is this. And then you will go to an ore sword. It doesn't need to be electric, it can be anything, it can be any kind of stuff, but mine's electric at the moment. So ore swords after that. I should show you the armors as well, because if I don't show the armors, I'll show you the chests of each armor. Now, first chest is this, the rotten wood chest. Okay, it's not very good. It's 5,000 thingy. Now after that, it is the wood. Well, I didn't go with wooden chest. I didn't find it, so it would be wooden chest, and then it would be fossil chest, I think it is. And then after that it's a plasma chest, but I'll talk about that later on in the series. Now we're going to look at ore. Here's some ore here. Now ore doesn't come in large amounts, as you can see it comes in quite small amounts in caves, but it's a good way to farm materials. So these slimes are going to be quite an easy kill for us because they're not a high level, but we'll talk a bit more about enemies on the next episode. I just kind of want to talk about resources and low tier resource farming. Now, you can see some more there. They're scattered around the place. You can see them all over the joint. Now, the next thing we need to find out is gems. Now, these are more common outside as well than ore, but they can sometimes just be a little bit harder to find. So in here is a good place to farm for gems, and you know, I'm not going to take too much time because this episode's gone on quite long as it is, but I will talk a little bit more about other stuff later on. But you know, slimes and that are really easy at this level. I think the next episode I'm going to talk about is enemies and how you can get blueprints and what's the easiest way to level up. Now, as you can see, there's ores everywhere, right? Now, there is 2 other types of stuff. There's other materials you can get, but that will be for a later stage for more advanced players. So we will leave that now, as we are not as high up as a stage yet. So later on, I will be showing you how to get different types of weapons and machine guns and shotguns and all sorts of stuff. As you can see, I've got a machine gun and an AR-200, but that's later on. Now, farming dungeons is lower tier, from maybe lower to like tier 20 to tier 30. It's going to be what you're going to be doing quite a lot. Not until you get to certain planets you'll be farming dungeons a lot. There's really no other way you can do it. I would say if you want to collect materials, go and farm low tier dungeons. It means you don't have to if you're farming for rare materials. Now rare materials are like radioactive ore that just came out of that there, and you get even more rare materials out of certain gems. As you can see, gem chunks, but the higher the tier of gem, the more rare materials you will collect. So if you're looking for that one rare material that you really need, then you need to locate the gem that is you're meant to get for it. Now you can go on the wiki to check that out, but it wouldn't be too hard. Any gems above about 20 have most of the rare materials, but there's stuff that you will not find on gems 20, and you need to find higher stuff. So you need to look at the wiki, but I'll go into that more maybe later on. So we better finish it up here. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Grav. This has been episode 1 of the resourcing, and the next episode will be more about mobs and how to farm for blueprints. Thanks for watching. Bye.